Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're working on my girlfriend's Mercedes.
We will be installing work Euroline DH wheels and a set of scale suspension coilovers.
So, let's get to it. So after you take off the wheels, jack up the car, make sure you put jack stands. What you want to do is take off the clip that holds the brake lines and the sensors and whatnot. It's pretty simple. And then you want to take off this bolt right here. And there's two in the back that are hiding down there. Once you get those two off, you want to pull this assembly down and drop it. And then you want to take a hex socket and take these off. Make sure you leave one on, but carefully loosen it with your fingers while you're holding the shock from the bottom so it doesn't fall and damage anything else. So we got the bottom of the shock off, the strut assembly. We took this one off, two right there, one there and one over there. And to take off the clip that holds the wires, it's a bit of a pain. If you look inside, there's a little hole right there. You're supposed to punch out the spin and this whole thing is supposed to come off. And then we took the sway bar link off. I just have to take off the bottom one, but the bottom one's a pain because this arm is in the way, so I have to find a way to clear this so I can pop this one off. But since we finished all that's left is to take these three bolts off, and then the shock assembly should drop down. So we got the coilovers on. It was actually a complete pain in the ass. We have a few little problems, but we got them all sorted out. This is what they look like on the inside. I know you can't see much, but it's better than nothing. All we gotta do now is just adjust the camber, and we are about to install the wheels and drop the car on the floor and see how it fits. If anything, we might have to raise the car quite a bit because I think it's gonna be slammed. So we finally got the coilovers on. I think it might be a little too low, so we'll see how the car settles. We did max out the camber all the way. So we're about to lower it and then see how it fits in there. Fuck.
We probably didn't think of that, did we?
No. Damn it.
Fuck. What did it break?
Probably nothing.
Sick as fuck.
So after like 4 hours or so, we finally got the front end on the ground and it looks absolutely amazing. The fitment's really good, but we might have to like raise it up just a tiny bit. So we're extremely happy with how they came out. The fitment's on point. So we'll take it for our test drive tomorrow and do all the adjustments for the whole entire car. So, but up next, we're gonna do the rear end. So we got the front end all finished up. Now we go to the back. It's pretty much the same process, but a little different, but I also filmed just a gist of it. But on the downside, we do have to take apart majority of the trunk just to even get to the actual shocks so we can put them down. But this is what it looks like so far. We just gotta take off this whole entire piece, this black one right there probably, and this one on the left side as well. So after securing the car and then putting jack stands underneath, I took the wheel off, and what I'm gonna have to do is take this nut off right here on this control arm, the inner nut on the inside. So that way I can carefully drop this control arm for me to take out the spring. And I'm gonna undo the shock that's hidden underneath this plastic cover that I'm gonna take off right now. And my girlfriend's currently up top taking off the trim. So that way we can get to the mount, the screw that goes up top of the shock right here. And she also did buy some camber arms. So I'll be taking this camber arm off and replacing that as well. So pretty much like I was talking about earlier, there's the control arm. I had to take off the bolt right there and carefully lower with the jack because the tension of the spring will shut this down pretty fast. So I gotta be very careful. And I also took off the nut right here for the shock. So I'm just waiting for my girlfriend to finish up the trim of the trunk so we can access the shock up top and then drop the shock down. After that, all I gotta do is just take off this camber arm right here, the stock one, and install the aftermarket one that we have. So let's get to it. So I got the old camber arm out. This is the OEM one, and this is the aftermarket one we'll be replacing it with. So now all I gotta do is just make sure it's a somewhat similar length, and then I'm going to make this a little bit shorter so that way I get more camber whenever we load the car. So yeah. As far as the suspension itself, all that's left is the last piece, which is the shock right here. And we're just waiting on her to take out the trim still. So we can lower the shock, and after that we can go ahead and put in springs, the new coilover, and then we can bolt everything up and then lower the car. So I finally got the new coilovers in. There's a coilover, the shock, and then there's a spring right there. Already kind of have it adjusted. I'm about to smack the wheel on this side and then do the same thing on the other side and then lower the car, and we'll see how it looks. I have a good feeling the fitment might be okay, but I might need to adjust it some more. So I'll have to pick up the car again and then adjust the rings and then put the car back down. And I'm sure you might have noticed that we have the OEM camber arm in right here, and there's a reason for that. So pretty much the camber arm that we've ordered by the Camber King don't work, and that is because these camber arms are not supposed to add more camber. They're supposed to actually take off negative camber, so your car has more positive camber, which in our case that makes 0 sense, and it is kind of our fault for not reading the description, which is like 3 paragraphs long. But at the same time, when you order camber arms or these type of parts, there should be like a very big adjustment space, whether you want to go back to OEM, minus or plus, or whatever the case may be. But in this case, with these being fully locked in as they are, they're barely the same length as the OEM ones are. So this is a complete waste of money. So we won't be running these camber arms at all in our car. We'll probably just stick with the stock ones, and we'll see how the fitment is once we lower the car. And it doesn't make any sense because, like for my other cars, for example my Mercedes, the camber arms that I've ordered, they're meant to give me more camber, which that makes a lot more sense rather than give me less camber. This is absolutely useless for us. And the same thing for my Miata and everything else I've owned before. So before everyone starts saying nonsense, I've actually went through the website and read it thoroughly. And on the very bottom it says that likewise, if you want more camber, let me know so I can get you the shorter camber arms. Which, how am I supposed to let you know, for one, when you don't specify that there's different types of camber arms lengthwise? And two, there is no option on your website to select if you want the shorter ones or the longer ones. That is very misleading, and honestly I probably won't be purchasing from him in the future. So there's that. So we got in the car on the ground. It looks pretty decent. There's about barely even a finger gap right here. But I think what we'll do is actually drop it some more and hope it adds a tiny bit more camber so it actually clears better where the quarter panel is at. But what I am going to do is probably pull and roll the fenders just a tiny bit to kind of flare them out a little bit. But the quarter panels in the back are kind of thick, and pulling them is going to be kind of difficult, but manageable. But the front should be pretty easy because it's very thin metal, so I can pull it with ease. But the front we might raise just a tiny bit, but the back we're going to lower by quite a bit. So as you guys saw for yourself, a set of coils and some wheels can really change your car. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. On your block,